The UFC's heavyweight division is currently a landscape marked by uncertainty, frustration, and a sense of stagnation. At the very heart of this situation stands Jon Jones, a fighter once universally hailed as the greatest of all time, now facing accusations of holding the entire division hostage. For years, Jones was the gold standard in mixed martial arts, a champion whose skills and achievements seemed almost untouchable. Yet, as time has passed, the narrative around him has shifted. Instead of being celebrated for his dominance, he is now criticized for avoiding the most deserving contenders, particularly Tom Aspinall, the clear #1 challenger in the eyes of many fans and analysts. This situation has led to a growing sense of frustration among fans, fighters, and even some within the UFC itself. The heavyweight division, once the most exciting and unpredictable in the sport, now feels like it is being artificially delayed. The reason? Many believe Jon Jones is unwilling to risk his legacy against a dangerous, hungry contender like Aspinall. This perception is only amplified by Jones's public persona, which often seems at odds with the reality of his actions. While he projects an image of a man at peace, enjoying life and living without regrets, the truth is that his refusal to face the top challenger is casting a shadow over his career. Jones's response to criticism has been to double down on his lifestyle, sharing images and videos of himself enjoying life in exotic locations, riding motorcycles, and spending time with family. He insists that he is living his best life, seemingly unbothered by the accusations swirling around him. But for many fans, this only adds to the frustration. They see a champion who is more interested in enjoying the perks of his status than in defending his title against the best the division has to offer. The contrast between his words and his actions has become a central theme in the ongoing debate about his legacy. The question that now hangs over Jon Jones' career is a simple one. What is he really fighting for? Is it money, legacy, or simply the ability to maintain his status as champion for as long as possible? If it's about money, the answer seems clear. The biggest payday would come from fighting the opponent that fans most want to see him face. In this case, that opponent is Tom Aspinall. The demand for this fight is overwhelming, and it would almost certainly be one of the most lucrative and high-profile bouts in UFC history. Yet, Jones seems reluctant to take the risk, preferring instead to wait for a different opportunity or to negotiate for even greater compensation. If it's about legacy, the situation becomes even more complicated. Legacy in combat sports is not determined by a single organization or a group of executives. It is shaped by the fans, whose admiration and respect are what truly elevate a fighter to legendary status. While Jones's achievements inside the cage are undeniable, his legacy is now being questioned because of his unwillingness to face the most dangerous challengers. Fans remember not just the victories, but the willingness to take on all comers, to risk everything in pursuit of greatness. By avoiding the fight that everyone wants to see, Jones risks being remembered not as the greatest of all time, but as a champion who protected his status at the expense of true competition. This is not just a matter of public perception. The UFC itself has a role to play in this drama. By failing to strip Jones of the title or to put significant pressure on him to accept the fight with Aspinall, the organization is seen by many as enabling his behavior. This creates a sense of favoritism and undermines the integrity of the sport. Other fighters have been stripped of their titles or forced to defend them under far less controversial circumstances. The fact that Jones is allowed to hold up the division for so long without consequence sends a message that the rules are not applied equally to all. The issue of persona is also central to the debate about Jon Jones. Throughout his career, Jones has presented himself as a man seeking redemption, guided by faith and a desire to be better. After each public failing, whether it was a failed drug test, a legal issue, or a personal controversy, he would speak of learning from his mistakes, of finding God, and of striving to improve. For a time, many fans wanted to believe in this narrative. They saw a flawed but ultimately good man, struggling to overcome his demons and live up to his potential. But, as the years have passed, the pattern has repeated itself too many times to ignore. The apologies, often wrapped in religious language, have become less convincing. Each time, the promise of change is followed by another incident, another controversy, another disappointment. The gap between the public persona and the private reality has become too wide to bridge. Fans are left wondering whether the image Jones projects is genuine or simply a calculated attempt to maintain his status and deflect criticism. This is not unique to Jon Jones. The world of mixed martial arts is full of fighters who adopt personas for various reasons. Some, like Colby Covington, openly admit that their public image is a performance designed to provoke a reaction and sell fights. Others, like Sean Strickland, blur the line between reality and exaggeration, using their personality to attract attention and build a following. Even Conor McGregor, with all his controversies, has managed to maintain a certain level of respect by embracing his flaws and refusing to apologize for who he is. What sets Jones apart is the sense that his persona is not just performative, but deeply manipulative. He wants to be seen as a redeemed man, a champion who has overcome adversity and found peace, but his actions suggest otherwise. The constant need to show the world how happy and fulfilled he is, the repeated apologies followed by the same mistakes, the refusal to face the top challenger, all of these point to a deeper insecurity, a fear of losing the status and admiration he has worked so hard to achieve. The impact of this situation goes beyond Jon Jones himself. It affects the entire sport, from the fighters who are denied their chance at greatness, to the fans who feel cheated by the lack of true competition. The UFC's willingness to enable Jones's behavior sets a dangerous precedent, one that could undermine the credibility of the organization and the sport as a whole. If champions are allowed to pick and choose their opponents, to avoid the most dangerous fights, and to hold up entire divisions without consequence, the very foundation of mixed martial arts is at risk. At the end of the day, legacy is not just about wins and losses. It is about the respect and admiration of the fans, the willingness to take on all challenges, and the courage to risk everything in pursuit of greatness. Jon Jones has the opportunity to cement his status as the greatest of all time, but only if he is willing to face the best the sport has to offer. Until then, his legacy will remain incomplete, overshadowed by questions of what might have been. The story of Jon Jones is a cautionary tale for all athletes. Talent and achievement can take you far, but true greatness requires more. It requires humility, accountability, and a willingness to face the toughest challenges head-on. It requires the courage to risk defeat in pursuit of something greater than yourself. Until Jon Jones is willing to do that, he will remain a champion in name only, his legacy forever marked by the fights he refused to take. In the end, the fans are the true judges of greatness. They remember not just the victories, but the spirit in which they were won. They celebrate the fighters who dared to be great, who risked everything for a shot at immortality. Jon Jones still has the chance to join their ranks, but only if he is willing to step into the cage and prove, once and for all, that he is the best in the world. Until then, the heavyweight division will remain in limbo, and the question of Jon Jones's legacy will remain unanswered.